Dagath has arrived today, our 54th warframe. Now Dagath is actually a lot stronger than you think, but she needs one quick fix. And then she is a lot better to play, which we will explore in this video. Just a quick note, I have received Dagath and many other things that have come with this update because I am part of the creator program, so thank you DE. As always, a quick thank you for all of the members on my channel. Thank you so much for your support, it really means a lot. Firstly, where can you farm Dagath? Well, if you are in a dead clan, then I think it's time to migrate. Otherwise, if you're in an active clan, you can tug on your clan leader's t-shirt or a high tier clanmate to hurry up and build Dagath's hollow. This is the new clan room that has Dagath's blueprints by this altar over here. Once you have built the new dojo room, you will see that you can TP to it. You can also customize your cave here, which is pretty cool. Once you've bought the blueprints, you will see that you need Vainthorn. This is obtained through the new Abyssal Zone game mode on series. To access this mission, you need to buy Abyssal Beacons from Syndicates. Head over to your Syndicate tab and buy the beacons for 5,000 standing. A quick note, each beacon is one instance, so in order to run more than one, you will need to buy a beacon each time, or you could just buy a whole bunch and run all the beacons. In this mission, you will have to find these Defixios. You can't miss them. As you move around, you'll hear these distant cries and whispering, and they glow bright red. Each time you grab one, you'll get a variety of different debuffs. Some are quite harsh, like no shields or ammo depletes steadily. Finish the mission and hand the Defixio in, and you will see you will get 8 Vainthorns. There are 8 Defixios in each mission, however you will only need to grab one. On stream I did get 11 Vainthorns and I've noticed people get different ones, so I don't really know how much you get per. However, it seems that you only really need to hand in one and then finish the objective by killing all the enemies, and then you will get the 8 Vainthorns. You do not get any extra from handing in a whole bunch. I did a mission where I handed in 4 and I still got 8. And that's how you get Vainthorns to craft Dagath. Let's go into the ability, shall we? If you would leave a like on this video, it goes a long way for me. Thank you so much. Dagath's passive is actually quite nice. You get a 35% chance for energy orbs and health orbs to be 300% more effective, so basically a budget energize. We then have Doom, her second ability, and Wyrd scythes. I'm going to call them Wyrd scythes, her first ability. These two are paired together and synergize pretty well, which is why I'm explaining both of them at once. Doom flashbangs enemies in front of Dagath and curses them. A portion of the damage she deals is revisited by a Wyrd scythe. This was at first a bit confusing for me to understand, but the way it works is as follows. When you cast Doom, you will see these little scythes above their head. Every time you damage the enemy, a portion of that damage you do to that enemy will be absorbed and applied after a short duration. As you can see here, I shoot the legs of this corrupted gunner, and after a few seconds you will see the sides will do an animation and apply a portion of the damage. But this damage redirection can be scaled with ability strength. So with the more strength and the more damage you do, the more damage will be redirected. If you can get this up to 100% damage redirection, that means you will basically do 100% of the damage you just did twice. They also suffer viral damage from Doom. And Wyrd scythes is like a mix between Kullervo's blades and Yareli's aqua blades. The scythes spin around Dagath and seek out nearby enemies. Enemies are slowed by quite a bit when scaled with strength, and they suffer viral damage. This ability can easily apply 10 viral procs, so it's not a bad viral primer. However, these scythes will also spread the Doom curse. But you need to cast Doom first and then cast Wyrd scythes for this to spread. This is demonstrated here as I casted Doom just on the edge here to one enemy, and then I casted Wyrd scythes and you can see it spreads everywhere. Wyrd scythes and Doom work very well together. However, her Wyrd scythe ability can be a subsume slot if you want to, of course, but then you miss out on the spreading of Doom. Then we have her third ability, which is Grave Spirit. Honestly, this is actually very strong, like very strong. Supercharge your weapons, giving yourself extra crit damage. Enemies affected by Doom take double that crit damage. When you die, you just don't die. You go into a spectral form where you are invulnerable for many seconds, which can scale with duration. In the spectral form, every kill will be a guaranteed health orb drop, which paired with equilibrium, that's broken. So in this form, just go ham. And then when you break out of it, you have to wait 25 seconds for the cooldown to finish. Now I know what you're thinking. Yes, 25 seconds is long, but with this update, we have many new changes and shield gate changes. So if we can just keep ourselves alive for 25 seconds when we break out of the spectral form, then theoretically Dagath is actually invulnerable. We can make use of shield gating mechanics and other mods plus arcanes to stay alive. Then we have Dagath's fourth, which is Rakhali's Cavalary. Summon 4 horses that mow down enemies in their path. Here is the thing about this ability. At first I did not like it, but I have grown to like it. Enemies affected by Doom will get armor stripped and will get absolutely shredded with viral damage. The closer the enemies are, the more instances of damage will be applied. Plus, you are invulnerable while casting Rakhali's Cavalry. So in terms of her ability synergy, always be casting your Doom Curse, cast your 1 to spread the curse further, and then cast your 4th and everything will die. Her 1 and 4 come back to Doom. Most of her kit revolves around her curse ability, which is her 2nd ability. Brave Spirit, her 3rd ability, is more of just a click and forget and then panic when you die because you have 25 seconds to stay alive. Dagath has a problem. One problem. Her abilities are clunky. Very clunky. She is more of a ability spamming focused frame. So the only way we can fix this is casting speed. Casting speed solves the problem for her like no other. Consider 2 Archon shards and even natural talent if you want to, or you can even use power transfer from Madurai, and I promise you she is actually a very broken frame provided she has insane energy sustain and a lot of casting speed. For horses literally delete enemies and acolytes, you can realistically go through an entire mission and not shoot a weapon provided you have enough energy sustain. With this update came the change to Equilibrium. This mod right here is the new best in slot mod. Why? Because Equilibrium now allows you to pick up health and energy orbs even when at max, meaning permanent conversion and not relying on the mod Synth Fiber, which was a companion mod. So now you will be getting conversion straight from your frame and not relying on your companion. This will mean more and more energy sustain. It's such a huge change and frames will feel a lot tankier and smoother as you can cast abilities way more often. So Equilibrium will be on all of our builds here. If you are in Starchart, focus on efficiency, range, and even consider redirection even though she has very low base shields. With the new shield gating mechanics, her base 250 shields equals 1.13 seconds of invulnerability when broken. Simply adding redirection takes it to 1.59 seconds. Now that may not sound like a lot because we now have 2.5 seconds at max, but that's still longer than the previous 1.33 seconds we had before. When you get to Steelpath, putting 3 shield Archon shards will increase this to over 2 seconds. That's still very good. Here is the build we run for Starchart players. If you can, get your hands in Equilibrium. It is the most important mod to get right now. I cannot stress this enough. Use whatever aura you have available. This shouldn't require more than 2 or 3 former if you have maxed mods. Now moving on to Steelpath for the more endgame players. We are pretty much always focusing on modding for strength, a bit of duration and range. Grease Respite is really handy. We use Blind Rage to make our abilities more expensive, allowing us to regen shields easier as we cast a lot of abilities. Although this is a bit of a tedious playstyle, because even with the Dagaths Passive as basically being a free energize and the new Equilibrium change, you will still sometimes struggle with energy sustain. That's what I've noticed. She's such an energy hungry frame. You can even consider using Arcane Energize as well on top of all of those different layers. We of course use Rolling Guard here as we need status cleanse, and this is the build that we are running here. Primed Flow is very necessary as, like I said, she is very energy hungry. You can swap out Augur Reach or Stretch for natural talents for even more casting speed or an efficiency mod. Molt Augmented is definitely needed for her to increase her horse's damage and increase the damage redirection from Doom, plus the crit damage from Graith Scythe. This is a no Helminth setup. I actually think that she doesn't really need a Helminth in my opinion. She's actually really good without it. I've seen many comments of people saying she's going straight to the Helminth, she's useless, but from the brief testing I did, she's actually very fun to play with casting speed. That is the trick there. She needs casting speed and more shields and a bit of energy sustain. I use Arcane Eruption because I love this arcane and it's free crowd control, or we can use Arcane Energize. Remember, my builds are guidelines. You can change this to your playstyle. If you prefer having more efficiency, by all means go for it. Go for a medium strength and more efficiency so it's more comfortable. Then I only have one Helminth build that I'm using, which is, you guessed it, Nourish. You can't go wrong with Nourish. It's insane energy sustain and viral spreading as well. So yeah, Nourish is a meta subsume at the moment. Unfortunately, many builds are using it because it's so strong. The build, the exact same, except we use Arcane Eruption. I did try and see if Raw increases your horse's damage. It does, but it's very minimal. And then I did an Ensnare build for grouping. To be honest, it could work, but you can realistically just cast your horses in every direction and kill your enemies. Although it can still work. So Raw and Ensnare are so builds. You can try it out for yourself if you want to do your own testing. Now this is very important to know. For the new shield gating changes, at the moment overshields do affect the duration of shield gating and vulnerability times, but Pablo has confirmed that this is not intended and will be removed. This means yes, For the meantime, you could use Pillage or Condemn. These two subsumes are absolutely amazing and getting instant overshields. They are very good subsumes. But when this is removed, it won't be as good, unfortunately, so enjoy it while it lasts. I did do a Pillage build where I subsumed over her 4th ability for armor stripping and shield sustain. Please note, you will need to use an aura former here and use corrosive projection plus mult augmented so you can full armor strip with Pillage. And that is her builds done and dusted. I will do some further testing and see if maybe I can find another broken setup, but please put casting speed Archon shards on her. That is the most important thing that you can do to make this frame have a much smoother gameplay. At least 2, even 3, and then 2 shield blue shards. That will suffice for the new shield gating. Final thoughts. Casting speed fixes her, makes her a lot stronger. Use any means that you can to stay alive when you break out of spectral form and wait the 25 seconds. If you can stay alive, she's basically invulnerable. Her horses melt almost everything. They absolutely destroy acolytes, Xmas units, everything. It's a very strong ability and surprised me a lot. And for me personally, with the builds that I'll be using, I'll probably be using her base kit with no helmet or the nourished setup. Now, I will say though, just a suggestion, I do think that DE should add an augment where you can basically ride your horses and move around with them. So you can hop on the middle horse and then you can kind of move around. I think that would be pretty cool, in my opinion. You can maybe change it to a toggle ability. This update has brought so many changes and I have so many videos lined up, so don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. And of course, leave a like on this video. It really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one.